Good morning, 10%ers. This is Michael with Trading Escapes. It's the first day of March, and February was brutal. We're down, I don't know what it is, 20 some $100. Heck, with fees, we're probably down 5,000 over the last 3 months. So, as much as I hate to do it, we are going to do some rehabbing this next week, starting today, because it is March 1st. It is a Friday. We're gonna paper trade, and I know, it kind of doesn't feel right. Like you trade live for a couple months, and it just feels like you have to trade. There's going to be moments when we get into trades, and they're going to be possibly huge winners, and there's going to be a feeling of missing out, and we'll just have to deal with that. I'm not saying it's punishment, but to some degree it is. We know exactly what we're doing wrong. We've got both feet on the gas. We're looking in every direction, and nothing's measured. We're not trading with a plan. We just lost our way, and we need to get back. We need to get back to center. So we need to look at the path ahead, have a plan on how to navigate it safely, and just go from there. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna come up with a new plan, right? And if we back up and we go back to December, January, we were making strides. March marks at the end of March, we'll be at this for 1 year. So we're 11 months in, and I think we're just trying too hard. And anybody watching, maybe one person who's just getting into this, or you're 6 months in, 3 months in, take take your time, especially if you have capital to lose, because you will lose it. It's not that you can't get there. It's you just don't understand at this point how many other pieces have to fall in place before it starts to work. And one of those things is to have trading history that you can go back on and find the things that did work and focus on perfecting those and ramping those up. So, like we've said before, there has to be losers, there has to be mistakes. The problem that we've had in February was, like I said, we had both feet on the gas. We weren't following the plan or a plan. We were basically doing live testing. Oh, look at this, look at that. Oh, let's try this. And that's what happens because you're learning, right? You can't, you're saying, you start looking at something, you go, oh, well, this is it. Nothing is it, all right? It doesn't happen that way. Don't look at a chart and technical setups and say, oh, I've figured it out. If I just use this setup, then we're good. It has to be the setup, the strategy inside a plan for a series of trades. The risk management has to be there, and then you have something to go after, measured. Um, so anyway, it's about an hour before the bell. I'm gonna. Well, I gotta get my paper trading set up. I don't have any of the charts set up or anything like that. So I'll uh, I'll log out because I'm logged in live, log in to the paper side, get things set up, and we'll just we'll paper trade is just like we would do a live video. Uh, yeah, it feels good. I mean, it's a little bit of a relief. I'll be honest with you, but at the same time, you just have this you just have this feeling that I'm gonna open paper trading up. I'm going to take a setup, and the thing's going to run for 2, 3 points. It had been a $12,000 trade, and here we are. We paper traded it. You just can't think like that because honestly, if it was live at this point with no plan, you would mess it up. It's going to be a loser. So anyway, we're gonna get in there, rehab our training a little bit. Probably for the next, today, next week, we'll probably just stay on the paper side and then get back to live the week after. So anyway, I hope you guys are good. Hope you're learning. Hope you're constantly studying. You know, this takes a lot of effort, right? If you're not sitting around at night looking at charts, watching videos, reading books, trying to perfect some other piece of this, then you probably shouldn't be doing it because that's what's required. In a year, two, three, that's what you have to do. You know, I was just watching something where a mentor was talking about one of his students, and he was working at a prop firm, and he was 11 months in, and nothing was working. Right? He was at the bottom of the barrel. It's like the market adjusted as he adjusted. He would make a slight adjustment, start to win, the market would change, he would lose. In 11 months, he was basically saying, I think I should just give up. Like, you know, I don't know what else I'm going to do. That was his dream to do that. He was a young person, and you know, got out of college and wanted to become a professional trader, and that's what he did. And today, he last year he made $4 million. Now, I'm not saying any of us are going to make $4 million, but the point is that there is a huge learning curve, and it's very deceptive when you hear these people online, and I've got, you know, strategy this and set up that, and if you just learn this one thing, even if it worked, even if that strategy worked, you still need 12 months, 24 months of background before you should ever sit down and start trading that strategy, because something's going to happen that you don't recognize that could keep you out of a big loser, or something is going to happen that could put you in a big winner, even in the strategy and in the setup. You know, there's just so, you know, volume ramps at pivot points, engulfing candles. You know, there's all these little signals to the structure of the market. The market is just a blank slate. There are things that go on the chart that affect the structure, and there's areas of impact. There's consolidation and there's expansion within the structure. And you know, the first thing to do is learn where these areas are, so you can try to have some sort of prediction based on the history of the that particular stock. That takes a long time. You know, for one, you gotta study particular stocks, right? You see a lot of people out there, like they're on the scanner, they find a stock and they're going to trade it. That's the stock for them that day. In certain strategies that may work, but be very cautious getting sucked into that, because go back a couple of videos here. You know, we did exactly that. You know, early when we started, we were doing gap and go, low cap, momentum kind of plays in the morning, and you know, I decided, heck, well, let's just go back to that and see if we can't, you know, pull. Well, the mentality is, let's just go back to that, right? And we'll recover all the losses that we put in using, you know, for what we've been doing this month. And what happened is we lost $1,000. You know, that it's you know, and I know a lot of people are listening right now going, well, obviously, right? It's real obvious until you're the one doing it, until you're the one clicking the button, until you're the one that's seeing things go red or green. It's very obvious. It's like looking at a chart and, you know, seeing a full day of price action and going, well, you know, right there's the point, right there's the entry, right there's the exit. You know, that's not reality. If it was, you know, you got to think about it for a second. If it was, there would be no trading. If it was that obvious, if it was that easy, there wouldn't be a market. You know, everybody would get in at the same point, and everybody would exit at the same point. Well, supply and demand doesn't work under those conditions. There's no volatility, there's no momentum, there's no nothing. So, you know, just keep that in mind. You start, and I'm saying some of this is trader therapy, right? I'm saying some of this for my own benefit. You're up against some of the best traders in the world. You're up against all the best traders in the world. Let's get that straight. You're there trading against the best traders in the world, right? And you don't know what's going to happen based on a chart. I mean, unless you've been trading for years, you don't know what's going to happen. You have a guess, you have an idea, you're practicing. You're saying, well, if this happens and we have this technical, we have this pivot level, and it's tested that pivot 3 times in the past year, and now it's going up to, and as soon as it fails, I'm going to jump in and we'll be good to go. Well, you got a chance. It could happen. Or are you missing one point? Are you missing one piece? You don't even know. You don't know if you're missing that piece. So, like we started a couple months ago, how do you deal with that? You deal with it with small size. You don't put your account at risk, small size. And quite frankly, that's really where we messed up, right? We're not successful traders. We have no business trading full size or large size or whatever you want to call it. And if there's one thing you take away from this 10 minutes, your first year, your first 2 years, don't be looking to make $1 million, $100,000 or whatever, and keep your size small. Now this depends on what you're trading, how you're trading, what your account size is, and everything else. But in general, the larger size that you put on a trade in an environment where you don't know the true ins and outs of it, you're not, you may have the confidence, but that confidence isn't built on actual skill. Don't go there. Keep it small, keep it safe, and you will get there eventually. Just like the example I gave before, where I was, the video I was listening to, this professional trader who they were ready to pack it in. The year before they made 3 million. Last year they made 4 million. Things change. You start to get all the pieces and they fall into place. I have to get out of here and get our paper set up so we can have something to make a video on today. All right, guys, stay safe, and I'll see you back at the bell in about 45 minutes.